I want to share with you some graded coins and some currency that I purchased recently. Now, for those of you who've never watched any of my videos, my name is Daniel, and this is Coin Help You, and I own Portsmouth Coin and Currency Company in Portsmouth, Ohio. And I buy coins here at my coin shop, and I like to share them. So that's what I'm going to do in this video. So first, I want to take you over to my website and show you where, if you need help, then you go to Coin Help You. Here's the URL. This is the website you can type in, or you can just do a Coin Help You community search on Google or Safari, whichever browser you use, and you'll come right over here and you post your question. All you have to do is click on, let's say, the mint error form, or you want to introduce yourself, and you just click new topic. That's all you have to do. You got to register, though. I want your email in there, and just give it a little bit of time, and then you'll be allowed to post. Also, all of these coins, or at least most of these coins in currency, if they haven't sold, are up on this website here at portsmouthcoinshop.com. A lot of the images are here. You can actually click on the images and you can see zoomed images of these. A lot larger images that I'm showing in the video, but I'll give you an opportunity to take a look here at these because this is some of the newer stuff that I did buy. And as you can see, zoom in on it, you can look at it closer. You can click on the arrow. I updated the site so that you can see all of the information that you need without going back, and you can just click the arrows and look at it like a gallery. So I try to make it a lot more user-friendly. So now we're going to take a look at an 1880 S Morgan dollar, Midstate 62, and this is a really nice coin. Now when you have a black background, your images look a little more washed out whenever it comes to these coins. So that's why it kind of looks a little bit different than my usual pictures. And here is the reverse of it. It's a really nice coin. It looks I mean, as far as the 62 is concerned, I've seen a lot of coins that, it's got a lot of marks here and there, but I've seen some 63s that look pretty close to that. So usually your black background holders are their 25th anniversary, a little more rare. Some people like to buy those holders. And here's an 81S Midstate 62. You can kind of compare PCGS's version of a 62 to an NGC. Now this is just obviously one example of each. It's not a huge sample or anything. A little dot right here on that coin. But they are nice coins. They're not bad looking coins at all. Here's the reverse. But they're your normal coins you see a lot. Then they have this 1884 Midstate 63 dimple. DMPL, deep mirror proof like is what that means. This is a really nice coin. It does have some toning on the obverse and has some chatter in the fields, which kept it from being any higher of a grade. But it's really nice, really cool, real cheap way to buy a dimple. Now this one here, there are marks on the holder, unfortunately, so it didn't take a very good image, but the coin is a lot better. There is one little problem area down here I did not like. A lot of times I will use slab renew or something like that, and you can remove some of those scratches so that you can see the coin better. Here's an 1884 Midstate 64. Now this is a PCGS holder. It's an old green holder is what they call it. So you'll see OGH sometimes when you're looking on eBay or my website. I'll just put OGH, which means old green holder. So that's the old generation holders and then from the 90s and 80s. Actually, they have on PCGS website, they'll have it's a hall of slabs or hall of labels, and it's like the history. You can look that up on their site. But this is a nice looking coin. A lot of times people buy these coins because they think they might upgrade. They were a little more conservative back then. But I believe a lot of the old green holders have been cherry picked and they've been gone through and looked over for those kind of upgrades. But every once in a while you still might find one. So here's the reverse of that. And that's the reason why the old green holders tend to carry a little bit of a premium as well. People kind of, label shop there. This is a 1884 PCGS Midstate 63 proof like Morgan. Now the obverse doesn't look all that great. You got a couple areas here that's on the holder. There's a little toning. You can really tell that it's proof like because of that toning. But when you turn over on the reverse here, you can see that it does have some nice cameo contrast, unlike the obverse. But it's still a nice looking coin. Then we have an 1887, and this one is a Liberty V nickel, and it says spot removed unk detail. So I'm not really sure whether they tried to restore it or what it was, but this is what it looks like. It's actually not a bad looking coin. This might be where the spot was removed. I'm not sure. But it's not bad looking at all, and to find them in unk condition is kind of rare for these, being an 1887 year earlier. A lot of times you see these Liberty nickels and they're just worn so bad. I mean, you almost can't even see the details. Then you have the 1894, which I think I showed you in the little earlier image there. This one is fine 15, and it's not a bad looking coin either. Now just notice when you're grading these, the liberties here, sometimes this one's pretty close to very fine. We don't use fine 16 or 17 or 18, so this one here could be anywhere in between there, and I think it's a little higher than a 15 in my opinion. It's a plus one. And here's the reverse. Nice coin. See Barber dimes in that condition very often. Then we have a 96, and this is a Midstate 61 proof light. What happened was when I saved these images, they were saved by date and order by date. So you're going to see some of these mixed up with each other. So here we have another Morgan dollar, and it's 61 proof light. I believe this one's already sold on the site. It's not a bad looking coin, and it's kind of cheap to get a proof light coin. But a 61, you don't see that very often on a proof light coin. Here's the reverse of the coin. And here's an 1898, and like I said, we're back to the Barber dime because of the dates order here. Midstate 63. It's a little toned. It's not all that great looking of a coin, but you know that it's original. And there again, you're looking at these details in the Liberty. You don't find them uncirculated very often. But just being a little dark tone, I'm not a big fan of it. Typically, coins like that trade for a little less. Dealer pays a little less for those. Then we have a 12S, very good 10. And here's the obverse of it. So when you're looking at very good, you can see most of the Liberty, almost all of it, and you see the ear hole. Anything in that range, start getting into some better value. And here's the reverse, and here's where the mint mark is on these. So you'll have a D and a S, and that's the only ones that have a mint mark is 1912. This S is actually the same S that's on 1909 SVDBs, but the only thing is when it was punched on the dies and then when it struck on the nickel coins, it come out different. It was in an odd area. The striking details aren't always that well compared to the cent, so it looks different, but it's the same punch. Then we have a 1921, and this is rare in this grade. Fine 15. It's a nice coin, standing Liberty quarter. One thing about these, when you get back in the mid-20s, early 20s to teens, this date wore off before some of the other areas wore off on the coin. So you'll see that a lot. Sometimes you'll see coins that are in the fine, close to very fine range, and the date will be weak or partial. Here's the reverse. But this one is a really nice coin. Very valuable in that grade. Then a 1926D, and this is AU53. As you can see, the dates is a little more prominent here. There's the D mint mark. That's where they put the mint mark out on them. This one's toned up a little bit. Still, it's not too bad of a coin. I'm not into this kind of muddled toning. It's kind of to me, kind of a low quality toning. But it's probably just as natural as the rainbow, but it's just not as eye-pleasing to me. So here's a 1937D Midstate 66 Buffalo nickel. These are kind of difficult to grade. You'll see a lot of marks in this area on them. The reverse on the Buffalo, you will see marks along the shoulder, the higher points. Most certainly see a lot of die deterioration on these coins, and it's really common to see. This one might have a little bit of die rotation there. Here's a 1942 quarter, PR 64, proof 64. Now, one of the things about Pcgs, PR is proof for them. When you find one in an NGC holder, they use PF, so that's the difference there. But this is the 1942, not cameo or anything, but it's an old green holder again. And here's the reverse. Unless they're cameo, I really don't like the quarter proofs myself. So here's a 1963 10 cents, proof 67. So Annex, ANACS, also uses PF for their proofs. This one's a cameo. These are something you look for, 65, 66, 67 even, the SMSs, you want to look for the cameo. It's not so rare for a 63 and a 64, but when you start going back earlier into the proofs, it can be quite rare for a lot of them to have the cameo, deep cameo and that kind. Here is a 1971S. This one is proof 67, graded by NGC. It's basically a GSA holder for Eisenhower dollars. A lot of these coins are known for toning. They'll have blue toning. You'll see that a lot, kind of a blue tint to them. Here's the mint mark here. There are RPMs and some double dies and things like that. I've shown videos on that before. If you check out my other videos, you can see that. I have some playlists, so if you go to my channel, you can check out my playlist, and you can actually click on the channel name there underneath the video, and you can go and check out. I have playlists for several things, silver videos and for Morgan dollars, things like that. Then here's a 2013S, and the reason why I showed this is because you don't see these gold foil holders. I kind of like them. They're kind of cool looking. But it's just your typical 2013 S69 Silver Eagle. This one here is really cool. I thought this was really nice. I like this. It's an 1858 Liberty seated half dollar. It's hand inscribed War of 1861. It's authorized replica from the SS Republic shipwreck. Now it's 0.99 silver, graded by NGC, which is a Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. And we're going to look at it really close here. It is considered a copy. It's basically, you know, that's all what it has on the back of it. But it's kind of cool to see this. It's really neat. They made something like this. An affordable way to own something kind of a little bit of history, or at least it represents history. It's not really history. Here's the omit mark, and then here's the word copy, and there's the engravings on it. Then here's this. This is a 2017 Winged Liberty 1 ounce. It's a National Park Foundation, and I kind of like this coin. It's small, doesn't look like it'd be an ounce of silver, but it is. It has the weight to it, and then also has the certificate of authenticity. Yeah, how much it weighs, and here's the eagle in the reverse, which I don't dislike this eagle. It's not bad. It's a little plain, but I think it's kind of neat. I like it. Then here's the 2021P, and this is Australia $1. It's Year of the Ox. It's the Opal series. It's actually Proof 70 Ultra Cameo. I'm not really sure how they get the Ultra Cameo. I guess they in this area here, but it's not a bad looking coin. Kind of different. And here's the reverse. Obviously, Elizabeth II's on there. Then we have some copper rounds we purchased. So we have these on the website right now, and I bought a monster box. I bought 500 of them. I had someone ask if I could ever order them, and I said, yes, I'll order them. So I bought these, and I have different examples. So I would recommend buying one of each. That way you save on shipping a little bit. I mean, we'll combine shipping at that point if you put them all in the same order. But if you just buy one, you're probably going to pay way too much for one of these. So this one's a Buffalo nickel replica, and here is the Morgan dollar one. I wanted to order a mixture, and there's a reverse. Then we have the Peace dollar, and I kind of like these. They're kind of neat. You pay way over melt for them, but still yet. Shows it's got copy on it. And then here is this one. It's kind of funny. It's the United Snakes of America, and it has almost like the Zombucks thing on here. And then here's the Walking Liberty. There's a reverse of that. And it's a kind of nice little, maybe a stocking stuffer, something cool, something for just a gift maybe. Then we have the currency, and this here is a 1899, and they call it a Black Eagle. It's actually a $1 silver certificate. They call these blanket notes or horse blankets. They're large notes. I really like these notes. There's something about the older notes. Now, these are still considered legal tender. You just can't cash them in for silver now. Here's the $20 Federal Reserve note, which is typically what we use now. FRN is what they call them. This one here, you can see that it's the Bank of Chicago, which is really common, series of 1914. And it has Grover Cleveland on it. And here's the reverse. The reverse design's not too bad. It's a little plain in here, but you have the train and the boat, the car. Then here is the national currency, and this one here is from Cleveland, Ohio, and it's 1918 series. You can see the date. And it's not in the greatest condition. These, to price these, you would have to go to eBay, type in what you have, then match your note to one that looks kind of similar and see what it's sold for. Then here's a $2, and this one here is a series of 1917. It has, this is a scalloped. That's what they call that. It's the shape of it. And here's the reverse. And we're going to go through these kind of fast. This is the United States note. It's legal tender, 1917. And they kind of call these sawhorse because of this design here. And then here's a gold certificate. This one here is a series of 1922. It's a $20. I really like the gold certificate notes. You can't get gold with them anymore. Well, you can, if you took this to a coin dealer and want to trade for gold, you could. That's one of the things that is kind of ironic. You can't go to the bank. The government won't do it. But a dealer, I'm telling you right now, if it was me and you had some of these and you wanted a little bit of gold, and I would come up with some type of trade with you. Obviously, I'm not going to do pound for pound, I mean, obviously these are worth more than $20 now. So you can basically get more gold from a dealer and still kind of get the exchange rate here, I guess I should say. So it is kind of funny how it's not backed by the government anymore, but man, dealers like to buy this kind of stuff. Not all of them, but I do. I like the notes. You can sell them. There's always a home for them. Somebody wants to collect them. Here's the reverse. And then here is a silver certificate, 1923 series. This was your typical large note, one of the more common silver certificates. It's a nice looking note. You can see the fibers. They're not really paper. We call them paper, but they're more like some cotton and different fibers in them. And here's a 1928, and this is a silver certificate. Now this is what they refer to as a funny back. So here's the reverse. Almost looks like funny money. Shown you those before, and here's the 1928 and just a regular. There's the reverse again. And then here is a national currency, and you have the charter number 200 series of 1929, and this is from Boston, Massachusetts. And I really like the national currency notes. Some of them can be kind of rare. This is for Huntington, West Virginia, 3106. And the serial numbers typically are not that high, but if the lower the serial numbers, the better. I saw one from Piketon, Ohio. It actually had 1 on it. So it was a serial number 1. That was kind of cool to see. And here's the reverse. So, at one time, each city had their own charter, each bank, and they would, the Bureau of Engraving would actually print these, and then they would be issued at the banks, local banks. You had different charters too. I think all the way back to 1875, or it goes back into 1800. So is this really a cool piece of history? This is actually my hometown, Portsmouth, Ohio. I try to keep these because I like to have them up front when people walk in. They're like, "You mean we had currency at one time? Were they printed here?" Of course not. But I mean, they did come from the Washington's Federal Bureau of Printing and Engraving. This one here is like a yellow seal. It's a North Africa is what this is from. So during World War II, they made notes like this, and they did it for the Hawaii notes. So that way, if Hawaii was took over, they could say, okay, any note with Hawaii on it is not worth anything. Devalue it. So like I said, the government controls the value of fiat currency. So that's one thing people have to understand. And here's the reverse. And this was a 34A, and this is another North African, another $5 note. And then here's the Hawaii that I was talking about. Like I said, if the Japanese would have took over Hawaii in World War II, then I could have said these notes are no longer worth any money. You can't get anything out of them. So there you have it. There's some of the things that I purchased recently. I hope you enjoyed the share. I sure do enjoy showing everybody these current buys that I have. Some of the stuff is the same, but I never get tired of looking at it. So thanks for watching my latest video. Please like, share, and comment, and have a great day.